yo, yo, yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get on in here. Make sure that you like this stream. Make sure that we subscribe. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's game day, baby. Start the morning on game days. That's right. I don't know where you listening to this at, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Again, this is a little personal. This is a little personal this week. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It is your guy who was never lying, sometimes defiant, TP Way the Giant, man. Welcome to another nice top of the morning live stream of the Big Blue crossover with my brother, the Juke. The Juke.
What's going on, man? Listen, feels like Sunday morning on a Christmas day, man. Like Sunday morning on a Christmas day. We got a big game against the Broncos, who a couple weeks ago might have not looked like a big game, but here we are. We got shots being thrown on Twitter. We got everything. We got the whole nine. So who wouldn't be excited for today, man? Let's get it.
Before we get into, our Denver conversation, and I do have to kind of, pat us on the back here, because what's been going on since we've been doing this Big Blue crossover is that a lot of the things that we say the morning of the game are key things that, you should pay attention to that ends up happening at the game. Well, and it could be the complete opposite, like it could be where we say one thing and, we start to pay attention more to that certain player, and it just highlights a lot. So,
yeah.
I definitely plan to keep on with that theme of things, but we haven't talked since Philly, man. We haven't talked since Philly, and I really want to kind of pick your brain, man, as to what did that game do for you, and how important was that game in your book?
Recapping that day a little bit, which first of all, shout out to everyone in the chat right now. Like the stream, subscribe if you haven't, to my guy TP. We went live for the Big Blue crossover last time, Thursday night before the game.
Yeah.
And we talked about the game, and I clowned you a little bit where you gave me your prediction, and it was a whole lot for the Eagles and not a lot for us. But for everyone that watches the Big Blue crossover, you always have to tap in. TP jumped on in halftime, and the energy was different. TP had his head coach earphones on. He was like, we got to keep doing this. We're doing this right. We got to the vibe completely changed. And that's why you guys need to tune in to every episode of the Big Blue crossover. But talking about that Thursday, man, it was inspirational. I don't know what else to put it, man, because I think we all thought we were going to get waxed by the Eagles, or it was going to be a close game, but we didn't think we were going to win. The last thing we thought was that the Giants would end up spanking the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, when we haven't won in 10 years on Thursday Night Football, but they did just that. Scatabo completely took over. Jackson Dart looked like a franchise quarterback when he's balling out there with Lil Jordan Humphrey as a starting wide receiver. No Darius Slayton, no Malik Neighbors. And I think we all thought the offense was going to have a rough day. They ended up scoring 34 points. So definitely leaning on that game. Gave us a lot of energy heading into this matchup, because you play a Broncos team that also beat the Eagles, but they didn't beat the Eagles the way we beat the Eagles. We beat the Eagles down. And this is after, it should have been a get-right game, right? Like the Eagles lost to the Broncos. They're coming back off of a loss. They haven't lost back-to-back games. I don't think I've seen in a couple years. So the Giants did what they needed to do. And they carried that energy into this Broncos matchup. And, I mean, hey, don't let us win this game. That's all I got to say. Man. Do not let us win this game, man, because the energy will be through the roof.
No, that's a fact. That is a fact. If we win this game, I'm talking completely different. But I will say, for me, I think the biggest thing, or the biggest takeaway from that Eagle win was it was proven to that locker room, it was proven to the fans that we could beat anybody.
Yeah.
We could beat anybody. And So when people bring up the topic of discussion of us having, a difficult schedule, of course, right? It's something that you definitely have to factor in. But to me, I have the approach and the mindset that it is just not about our opponent. I am paying attention to how we address the game.
Yeah.
Like that is where my focus lies. And so as long as I'm getting production and as long as we're going in there playing New York Giant football and not trying to just survive, then I believe that this is going to be a better season than, you know, people, including myself, has given us credit for. Now, granted, if you've been tuned in to me, in the off season, I felt one way. I already felt like this season was going to be a sleeper. And then, of course, with us not starting off on a hot foot, you know, yeah, things changed.
Yeah.
So, this would be huge, man. Especially when we look around the NFC East. We were the only team to win last week.
Mm-hmm.
We have is the Eagles in Dallas. Who plays today?
We
Is
got
the Eagles in
Commanders.
Dallas?
Commanders in Dallas play today, and
Commanders in Dallas. Yeah,
the
yeah.
Eagles are taking on the. Dang, who are the Eagles taking on? I've heard. It's a team. Oh, the
I want to say
Vikings.
the
They're taking on the
Vikings.
Vikings.
Okay,
Taking on
okay,
the
yeah,
Vikings.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So listen, somebody is going to lose in this division again.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I am not sure that the Vikings and Eagles is going to be a definite Eagle win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we definitely turn things around with momentum is concerned. But again, this one is just another test that you could put on Jackson Dart and Coach Dable's plate.
Yeah. Let me chime in real quick because
Yeah.
that's something I didn't really speak on with this game,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think leaving that game not this past Thursday, but the previous Thursday, leaving that game made me feel like with this quarterback that we have a chance every single week. Now, we're 3 games in, right? Three
Yeah.
games into his starts, but we're 2-1. We
Yeah.
should have won that Saints game if he didn't drop the ball, if other players didn't drop the ball. So you could be looking at, and I hate to say woulda, coulda, shoulda, you could be
Right.
looking at a 3-0 team since we put in Dart.
No, that's
So
valid. That's
with,
valid.
with that being said, right, like maybe the leagues can still make adjustments. He's going up against a really good defense today.
Yeah.
But they said that about the Chargers defense. They said that about the Eagles defense. And you've seen how the guy shows up. Bright lights, primetime game, first division game, and he went down and took down the Eagles. I
Yeah.
don't care what it is. Right now, at this current juncture, Jackson Dart gives you a chance to win every single week. And I think that's why, as a fan base, we got to be excited because no game is a written off L. I don't care what it is. I don't care who we play. It's not a written off L.
Come on.
I already felt that to an extent prior to Dart starting, right? Because you got to play the games. We talked about it before the season started, where I told you everyone talks about strength of schedule, yada, yada. Injuries happen. Look at the 49ers. We take them on in a couple of weeks, and they don't look like the 49ers that we thought they would because they have a whole ton of injuries.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, I think the fan base has to be excited. Everyone in the chat has to be excited because Jackson Dart gives you a chance to win, whether it's with his legs, whether it's with his arms. He's not throwing the ball for 300 yards, but he's making timely throws to players when they're blitzing him, when he's getting hit. He's making some good plays. So I'm excited to see what he does against Denver in opposing territory. And that's why the fan base has to be excited, man. The Juke. I'm reading Born for Sports, man. Jackson Dart gives you a chance every single week, man. Shout out to Born for Sports.
Yeah, man. Let's get to these comments real quick. I see y'all in here, man. Shout out to y'all. If you are new to, us, if you're new to these channels, whether it's on my side at TP Wave the Giant or it is on the Juke side, man, please make sure that you subscribe, and also go ahead and like this stream for me and let the rest of the Giants nation around the world know that this is what we're doing this morning, man, on this game day. Let me start at the top here, man. Jabari Bruce, man, really wants some fantasy advice here. He says, who do I start in fantasy at flex? Michael Carter, Bam Knight, or Isaiah Pacheco? And should I tear Diggs or Kayshon Boutte?
I'm assuming you mean start Diggs or Kayshon Boutte.
that's what I
Yeah, I
so.
mean, I'm starting Diggs. I'm starting Diggs, and if I'm starting at the flex, I'm over here giving fantasy advice. I'm doing good in one league. I'm doing bad in the other. And the other one, I would go Pacheco because I do think the Chiefs just have that touchdown upside. He can get a touchdown in a bit. So
There we go. There we have it. There we have it. Yeah, I've this is the first year in many where I haven't done, fantasy. I'm doing like a free league, but again, I'm not doing anything
got you.
serious. It feels awkward too. Uh, Jonathan Tatum says, "Good morning. Dart is going to beat this defense up." Yeah,
Shout out my guy JT. Look, I'm missing up all the names this morning. What's going on, man? But shout out my guy JT, man.
Money Mike is in the building. Shout out to my guy Money Mike, Clinton Jones. I see you. Money Mike says Broncos ain't nothing but a stepping stone, and that is the thing, man. That is the thing. It is like we have to go into this game with the mindset that we have to be, crossing our T's and dotting our I's in this thing. We can't have a New Orleans Saint type of game, type of mess up, type of production. We can't go into this game like that. And then when we think about us, we also have to show ourselves and prove to ourselves that, one, we could win away, and two, back-to-back games. That will do wonders for what we're trying to accomplish this year.
Yo, I'm telling you, I can't wait to start talking about this Broncos team, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What turned in on Twitter where players are speaking up, that's when you know as well, Giants fans, man, we're back. I think we're back. Like, we're getting under these players' skin. We're a 2-4 team. Why are they talking about us in this manner? Mm-hmm. But it's because we have a quarterback that's breaking defenses down. I'm just being honest with y'all.
So let's actually get into it, man, because I don't want to waste too much more time. Let's actually get into this Bronco game. We'll kind of speak to the drama aspect of it first. As Kenneth Perkins, shout out to you, was mentioning it. It says the Broncos made this game bigger than it really was, man. I could say from my standpoint, I don't really know where all of this extra shit came from, like where this extra smoke came from. I woke up one day and then it was just like the Broncos side of things just decided to just talk extra greasy. Because for me, everyone who's been tuned in to me knows it don't take much to get me fired up and started, right? But I want to know for you, did you fall for it? Like, all right, is this game adding a extra, layer of just it being personal for you, or are you more of the mellow, like, listen, this is just another game type thing?
I think I'm gonna explain the timeline a little bit. I'm gonna let you know when I fully got bought in, right? So Cooper, the outside linebacker, was making his, his introduction, or not introduction, but he was getting questioned by reporters, right? And simply the reporter just asked him, what do you think about this Giants offense and Jackson Dart?
Right.
The guy starts to talk about how Jackson Dart dances, how he wears his chain, and he does things that's what certain people need to get going. And I'm just like, what? He just dropping Jackson Dart in a category where the reporter didn't even set him up to say something like that. Cooper just jumped out of nowhere and said that. Exactly. But at that point, just being transparent, I was like, okay, whatever. Say whatever you want. That's when I know Jackson Dart winning a couple games and obviously taking over the NFL. The NFL was posting scat and Dart everywhere. We know that. It was
my fault. Because I want to also speak on that and when it comes to the timeline, right? Because I think the same exact thing that you said.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's equivalent to me going to somebody else's podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, hey, TP, man, I seen you over at the Juke, man, and y'all do the big blue crossover in the mornings of the games. And I respond with, yeah, we do the big blue crossover, man, and we kind of have these conversations in the morning of the game, but what I try to do is just make sure that I keep the show alive, because at the end of the day, without me on the show, I think that the show isn't had the same type of spark, and They're
Yeah.
gonna look like.
Yeah.
Hold on. What happened there?
Out of left field. Like,
They're
bro,
gonna be looking like, yo, hold up. What just happened right there?
there's so many times where the reporters are setting up a player to say something, right? He just went out. He wanted to say it. Like there was
Exactly.
nothing else. He wanted to say it. That's perfectly said with what you said.
And then as a reporter's job, oh, that's music to their ears.
Yeah.
So tell me more. But no, go ahead with your timeline.
Yeah. So and speaking on that a little bit, obviously we know Jackson Dart wears that chain that he referred to that his sister gave him. So
yes.
I mean, it's not just a
Yes.
flashy chain, but whatever. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It has
That I
nothing to do
wasn't
with
really
the play.
invested. I was invested when Nick Benito jumped on Twitter to say I've never met a more delusional fan base.
Yeah.
That to me is where I'm like, hold on, are these pro players? Are these actual NFL players or not? Because there's
Right.
no way. I know New York is different than other teams, and clearly Giants fans, we have to look at this as a sign. They play games every week. There's no way he came out to say this about other teams. But of course, on Giants week is when they say it. And then he deletes it. He posts it and deletes it.
Yep.
Nah, you got to get walked on at that point. And I don't know if everyone's seen. He actually, someone DM'd him saying, why you delete the tweet? And he replied, BTA this Sunday, get out my DMs. That's what he replied with. So it's even it gets deeper, and then you see KT reply, Abdul reply. I'm invested. I'm fully invested in this game. I'm telling you.
No, that is a fact. That is a fact. And the thing is too, I think that when I read that and I got the whiff of him tweeting that, I think that it was his attempt to also trying to add a spark for him and his squad. Because I'm sitting back and I'm thinking like what would be his reasoning or what was said that kind of fired him up to just, put that tweet out. And there's nothing that I could really say that would provoke a player to just go all out like that outside of the fact of him just trying to create something or just trying to add to a little spark that was put by Cooper.
Yep.
So I think it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake on their part. Because this is the type of team that if given ammunition, they will give you what you're asking for.
Yeah.
We already physical. We already, are on a mission. We already, have that momentum. So now you're going to add on top of that. Okay, cool. But cool. Like,
as especially for a guy, right? Like, because you only question why. What is Benito talking about? Talking about fans are delusional. You think about us talking about Andrew Thomas against Benito. Benito's leading the league in sacks. We got Andrew Thomas who hasn't given up a pressure.
Right.
Is he speaking on Andrew Thomas? Is he speaking on what the Giants going to do on Sunday? There's no clarification on it, but we can only run with those things because he dropped it on Twitter. Like he felt like he wanted to drop that. So I'm fully enraged in it. Like you said, man, like whether he's trying to create a spark or not, we saw this Broncos team last week, just to tell y'all if you didn't see. We saw this Broncos team last week struggle against the New York Jets and that terrible, terrible offense. I could have told you a while ago that Justin Fields is not going to work out in New York as a Jets quarterback. That offense was -10 passing yards, and that's not going to happen today. It's not happening today. I promise you that. So if they can barely squeak it out against a Jets team like that, hey, anything can happen. But especially with this Giants team, no joke, anything can happen.
All right, man. Let's talk a little ball here. I think you hit it right on the head, man. With just us making it just a completely game to watch because we actually complement each other very well. That matchup there with Benito and Andrew Thomas is something that we're going to be keeping our eye on.
Yep.
That's something that's going to be real interesting. But not only just, that matchup, it is the offensive line and the defensive line. Because our O-line, which any chance I get, I want to, give them a shout-out because they have been playing good. Our O-line versus a D-line that is one of the top in the league. I've been saying this all week that I've been a little jealous at things that I've seen them do, versus the Jets, where they send all of the dogs to get after the quarterback, man, and it kind of reminded me of Coach Wink's style when he was here. But I wish that we would do that for our side, our defense as well. Um, this is and I keep saying this game is a huge test because of a few reasons, and one of them being this offensive line. Yes, has been playing good, but they haven't been tested the way I believe they're going to be tested in this game. So how do you feel about that matchup, man, with offensive line going against this dominant defensive line here? And, of course we know the importance, but how do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, I think it all ties together, right? Where you think on, I don't want to jump position groups real quick, but
Mm-hmm.
the wide receiver group, right? They're not going to be getting wide open very quickly. Jackson Dart's going to need some time to get there. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
hinged on his offensive line giving him time.
Yeah.
AT and Benito, that's a wash. I'm not even worried about it. Just being transparent, because
That's
I
my guy
think
too.
when you
Yep.
think about Benito against the other top edge rushers in this league, he's not a Myles Garrett. He's not a Micah Parsons. He's not a Brian Burns. I think Brian Burns is more explosive. Benito is playing in a great system right now. I'll just be transparent with you guys. So
Yeah.
unless he gets proven otherwise today, I'm not trying to discredit him, but we'll see what happens. I think AT has that hands down. It's
Mm-hmm.
just about the rest of the offensive line, right? Their interior, John Michael Schmitz is out, so we're starting Austin Schlottman. He's going to be stepping in as a center. John Runyon Jr. at left guard, Grant Van Roten at right guard. I'm looking at the interior, man. They got to be able to hold up, because that's where this Broncos defense wins, and you can watch it last week. They got 9 sacks on the Jets because they're able to affect the pass rush in the middle, right? The
Right.
interior is where they hit home. And then when you got to step up in the pocket, or when you try to break out, that's when these edge rushers get to you. So I'm looking at an interior, man. Can they try to hold up Greg Van Roten, Austin Schlottman, and also John Runyon Jr.? They need to try their best to hold up in the middle. That's where I'm a little worried. I'm just being transparent with you guys. Jackson
Yeah.
Dart
Yeah.
has been making people miss in the backfield, right? But that involves stepping up in the pocket. If he can't step up because he got pressure right in his face, that's where I'm a little bit worried. But we've seen him, do well so far. And the offensive line, the sacks that they've given up kind of been on Jackson Dart, because he's dancing back there. That he's had plenty of time to make a play, and sometimes just things aren't open. So yeah, like you said, that's the most important matchup, especially for this offense, man. I'm not looking at, their standout corner, Patrick Surtain, against who? Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, I'm not worried about who he's going to be guarding, because we don't have a wide receiver 1 right now that's going to be playing. So they got to try to lock everyone down. I think you've seen Wan'Dale Robinson step up last week with yards after the catch. We're going to need that type of effort from these guys. So, yeah, like you said, the interior.
Yeah. So I think that definitely, man, is just something to keep your eye out on, man, and that's going to be a huge part to this game, a huge part. But I think Jackson Dart's ability, man, to play above the X's and O's is really what carries this offense,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people know when it comes to Coach Dable, me and him don't see eye to eye, and that is something that has been bothering some, man, is these play designs, with our receivers just not being open, because their play designs are so vanilla, and I don't think we do anything that is just appealing, or anything that makes it very difficult for the defense, especially in the passing game. So Jackson Dart definitely is going to need to continue to do what he's been doing, extend plays and play above the X's and O's. But you kind of touched on this, man, and I think these receivers, man. I mean, yes, it was a good showing versus the Eagles, and it seemed like they were a lot on the same page last game. What can they do this game? I see my man Money Mike, mentioning this. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna act phony just because it's a little personal now, and I'm not feeling the Broncos. But Pat Surtain, man, is one of the, if not the best cornerback in the league, and I really already have in my head that whoever he's guarding, he's exiting out. To be honest with you, what can we expect, man, from this receiving core? And how important is it going to be, man, to get the production from them and our tight ends? Knowing that yes, it's going to have to be a run game established to it, but eventually, man, we're going to have to put this ball in the air, man.
Yeah, I think like once again, I respect Patrick Surtain as well, the same manner you have, right? But I do think it helps you when you have a DB like that, when you have another wide receiver one, right? If we have Malik Neighbors, we're looking at it where we know Surtain's going to be following Neighbors.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard to get Neighbors the ball, especially
yeah,
considering the Giants throw the ball to Neighbors 12 times a game, 13 times a game, right? When we don't have that, it makes me wonder how they're going to utilize him. Are they going to keep Surtain on one side of the field, try to cover up one side of the field? Because once again, I feel like wasting him on a certain wide receiver on the team is a waste for him, right? The
right,
Giants offense hopefully schemes up these guys well. I think when you look at last week, you saw a lot of crossers with Wan'Dale Robinson, with Theo Johnson. They're going to have to continue to scheme things up where we got guys in conflict running away from defenders. Patrick
mm-hmm.
Surtain, once again, great corner, but who are you putting him on? You're not going to move him in the slot against Wan'Dale Robinson either. I don't think that's the play because Wan'Dale likes to motion around, likes to do little swing passes. I don't think you expect that either. So I think the team is going to end up, hopefully, running a lot of crossers, trying to get guys the ball early and often. You're not going to see deep plays happen this game, in my opinion, because it's going to be a battle, like you said. Can they hold up on the front end, and can our receivers beat these DBs? Yeah, like you talked about, Patrick Surtain is that corner. I'm looking to try to get a linebacker, try to pick on a linebacker, try to pick on certain matchups to exploit because that's what you have to do. I think CFA brought up a great point, right? And I know we talked about passing the ball,
right.
but we're going to have to run the ball heavy. That's going to be
Yes.
this type of matchup with Cam, the way Cam played last go around against the Eagles. We talked about Tracy being an X factor last week, but he was still coming back from that shoulder injury. He didn't get too many touches. These are the games where you have to rely on these two guys. Like you have to, because it sets everything else well. If you're able to move the ball 3 to 4 yards a pop on this defense, the play action is going to be set up well, and you're going to get some of these linebackers to come up and bite and open things in the middle of the field. So that's where I think about the Giants trying to hit it, man. I don't think on the perimeter you're going to see Lil Jordan Humphrey doing what he did last week, but definitely in the intermediate game.
No, I agree with you, man, for sure. I think CFA is hitting it on the head too in this comment section. Um, I've been adamant on this, man. It is really on coaching, and you kind of touched on this, man. And I think this is going to be huge when we talk about this passing game. I want to see Tyrone Tracy Jr., man, being involved as well. We have yet to see a game where we have seen the like real 1-2 punch with Cam Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy Jr. This is the perfect time, man, to really implement that. And I want to see Tyrone. I mean, look, I don't want to fail to mention this either, because we've seen Cam Scatterbo do what he does in the run game, but people need to also realize that this dude can be effective in the passing game as well.
100%.
And so that is just something that, again, coaching. I just want to see us really get into that bag and see what we can do creatively to help us on our case. Darius Slayton is expected to be out. Last time I looked at the injury report, it said that he'll be out. I think that's also huge for us.
Yeah, he didn't make the trip to Denver, so yeah,
he didn't make the trip. Okay,
yeah, he didn't go.
So yeah, that's another week that is going to be huge, man. But it definitely expect a lot of 12, 13 personnel and a lot of tight end usage, I would hope, and we'll go from there.
I think before we slide real quick, one last piece. Sorry, one last piece. I talked about this on my channel, talking about this Broncos matchup and talking about how this offense has been different.
Yeah,
we've won the time of possession battle 3 straight games, right? Against the Chargers, we dominated. Against the Saints, which you can all imagine we did, we just literally turned the ball over, but we dominated time of possession. And same thing against the Eagles. If we can find a way to do that, how is that happening? It's with running the ball like we just spoke about.
Yes.
Keeping the chains moving. Jackson Dart in this offense last game was unreal on 3rd down. If we can find a way to replicate that, and once again, this Broncos defense is different, but if we can find a way to replicate that, dominate the time of possession, give that defense a chance to breathe, where the Broncos offense is not stepping out there every 2 seconds. That's going to be the key to win, man. The Giants have done that every game that we've seen Jackson Dart so far. So will that continue? Remember this if you haven't, man. Time of possession. Check in on time of possession at halftime. Check in. If the Giants are leading it, man, there's a strong chance they're going to win this game because playing with that defense, give them some type of lead where they can affect the quarterback. They will. And I would imagine we're going to transition to the defense in a second, but I had to.
Great point. No, that was a great point. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is, something that is the big difference from our offense that we've seen recently compared to in the past, man. Like third down conversions, man. There's been times where we know when it gets to that third and long or however, we're like, all right, man, let's go ahead and get ready to punt this rock, man. But that is huge. We have a defense as well. And I think this is going to be a defensive game. And I'm going to, talk a little bit, too, about our D-line. They got to deal with us. They got to deal with us. Their offensive line isn't nothing to write home about. And, again, I love the fact that we have the momentum. We have guys up front that are special, that are talented, that have different bags to get into. And also, there's a little chip on their shoulder going into this. Like we kind of talked about this a little earlier. Even when we talk about the little back and forth, I mean, pay attention to how we addressed the shots. Wasn't much being said collectively. That tells me that everybody is on the same page as far as letting their play do the talking. And I could expect for them to go out there and play with that chip on their shoulder today. How do you think the Broncos are going to put up with this defensive line? Is there anything in your head that says that Coach Shane Bowen is going to utilize this deep defensive line to its best potential and kind of do what we haven't been seeing for the most part? We've been seeing a little bit more, but for the most part, throwing these blitz packages here and there and just kind of making it difficult for Bo Nix. How do you see that matchup on our side, on the defensive side?
Man, I'm excited to see this. The one thing I'm upset about, Giants legend Matt Parrott was supposed to be playing in this game, but they put him on IR.
Yeah.
The guy, bro, Matt Parrott literally had 4 flags. That's what I saw last week. 4 individual flags on him. So I was ready to see Dex just kill that. But yeah, they're a little banged up on the offensive line at that position. I think it's at right guard. They're missing now Matt Parrott, who is the backup. So now they're gonna have a backup to the backup on the O-line. We know this D-line is going to try to get after it. We know they can get after it. But like you spoke on with Shane Bowen, how are you going to affect the quarterback? How are you going to pressure the quarterback? Last week, we saw it a little different. Like, I think we have to open up about that. He sent the blitz after Jalen Hurts a couple plays. Mm-hmm. And that Cordell Flott interception doesn't happen if we don't send the house on that play. We send everyone. Jalen Hurts felt it, got rid of the ball quickly, and was inaccurate, and Cordell Flott took it. And should have been a touchdown, man. I don't know why guys cannot get in the end zone on these interceptions, but I think you got to look at that for this play as well. Bo Nix as a quarterback, right? It's funny because I think a lot of people made Jackson Dart comparisons to Bo Nix. Now you see both of them play, and they're 2 different quarterbacks. But Bo Nix is set up well with the play calling. When everything's on schedule, when he's able to hit his play actions, see the open guy, hit it. I think a lot of quarterbacks play to those strengths. But this year, it hasn't been that same type of, feel for Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And I think Sean Payton last week, I don't think he called a great game last week either against the Jets, in my opinion. So with that being said, like this D-line definitely has to get after it, right? Abdul Carter's questionable with his hamstring. I expect him to play because we seen this with Neighbors where he was a game time decision, but Neighbors was going to play the whole time. I'm hoping that's the same case because without Abdul, I will say that changes plans mightily. But give us these guys healthy against that O-line. And I think every week we speak on it, but got to try to stop the run. I think the Eagles abandoned the run way too early against us. Like, Saquon had 2 great carries in the first 2 plays, and they kind of just abandoned it. Hopefully the Giants are able to keep the running game under wraps. And once again, we've played with a lead every game this year when Jackson Dart started. We played with the lead. Opening drive touchdown on 3 straight games. If we're able to have a lead and put the Broncos pressure on to throw the ball, that's where you see this defense feast. Shane Bowen, continue to send the dogs, continue to pressure the quarterback, and try to get this W in opposing territory, man. You gotta steal the momentum from them, and that might be, once again, I saw Born for Sports talking about it, the turnover battle. If you can get your hands on the football somehow, some way, give the ball back in Jackson Dart's hands, we should have a strong chance to win this game.
So that's a fact. That is a fact, man. And I I'm gonna end it on well, not end it, but I'm going to end the defensive talk, man, on just a little where I'm worried about. Not that it's Bo Nix that I'm absolutely worried about, because it's not. The secondary. And even when we talk about this Eagle game, man, there were plays that the Eagles did leave out on the field, and it wasn't because our secondary did their job oh so much. There just seems to be right now that there are a lot of miscommunication things happening. Um, there are safeties and things like that getting burnt. It is worrisome. It is worrisome because for the last few games, the Saints, the Eagles that I know off the top of my head, I mean, big plays pretty much were accessible for whoever it was because our secondary wasn't on it. How do you feel about our secondary, this matchup at Mile High at this point in time? We know that one big play can change the momentum to this game, man. And it is very difficult, especially when you're playing at somebody's, home territory, to, change the tides in that. So, I mean, how do you feel about this matchup? And do you have confidence in this secondary going into this game, man?
I'm looking at our safeties, man, and I think I'm hedging my bets on our safeties every week because I just expect better play. You know how Tyler Newman has not been great to start off this year, but Javon Holland, he made plays last week. You think about when he deflected the ball on Saquon in the red zone. When you think about, I think he had a play where he punched out another ball. Javon Holland's been playing well as of late. I need them to step up in this game because, like you just said, we were talking about Cordell Flott with that interception, but he was the one that got burnt on the Devontae Smith play. And if
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts hits him, it could be a different story. It could be
yeah.
a completely different game. Who knows what would happen?
Hmm.
So, like you said, I mean, when you think about the wide receivers for the Broncos team, Cortland Sutton is easily the wide receiver one, and he's that big body receiver that you kind of just throw it his way, he's gonna come down with it. Paulson Adebo is gonna have his hands full trying to take care of Cortland Sutton, but like we spoke on, you got to try to find to make plays on the ball. Got to try
Yeah,
to find to make plays on the ball. If Holland can potentially take away a deep play, whether it comes down with the interception or it comes down with the incompletion, we need those because they don't come in bunches for us, right? Like there's some times where we have guys running wide open. I say this every single week, and we're going against another ex Giant, Evan Ingram. We get
man, I'm
killed
glad you
by
said it.
tight ends every
Yes.
single week. I've been saying this ever since I jumped on YouTube 4 years ago. The Giants always get killed by tight ends. We
Yep.
can't let Evan Ingram kill us. We can't. Evan Ingram hasn't been too good for them recently. Like he started off banged up, but if there's any game to get right, it's probably against the Giants. Can a safety step up and lock down Evan Ingram? Can you see a Tyler Newman in the box trying to guard Evan Ingram? That's where I feel like we need to try to eliminate that because a tight end is a quarterback's best friend, as in like you just throw it his way. He's the secure catch guy. Theo Johnson should be that for us, but Dart was giving him dimes and he's just dropping them. But with all that being said, man, once again, find a way to make a play on the ball. I'm looking at our safeties. Adebo needs to step up, but also Tyler Newman and Javon Holland.
Couldn't have said it any better, man. And I'm glad you said it because I was about to say the same exact thing, man. I really would hate for Evan Ingram to be the guy that offensively just kills us. And to be honest with you, I could see him being a problem this game. I could most definitely see him being a problem because, to be honest with you, he's looking all right. He's looking all right on that side of things, man. So yeah, all in all, man, I do feel like it is going to come up to two major things. It is going to come up to our defense. defense, defense. I think this should be a defensive game, and of course, coaching. I need a clean game for both sides of the ball, man. I need everybody to make sure, and we have more time really to prepare mentally for this team. So I'm expecting for us to really go out there and, you know, get into that bag, man, and really not be in a position to we're being super out coached. That just can't happen. So that is my last point, man, about this game, and I'll get to a couple comments before we call it a day, man. But please, man, speak to us, man, about how you view this coaching matchup, man.
Yeah, I think when you speak on Dayball, I think we get worried if Dayball going to get outcoached every single game. Is he going to get outcoached every single
Yes,
game? Sean Payton is the coach for the Broncos, and once again, I think he has that offense rolling every single week because he's that play caller. He's been a good play caller ever since he's been coaching this league. When you see him with the Saints and so on and so forth, so Brian Dayball needs to have these guys ready, and I hope he does because the Broncos right now are 4-2. We're 2-4. We're 4-2. We feel like we're right up there with them, but they're 4-2, right? The stadium's going to be rocking. I want to see not a lot of penalties. We need
yeah,
to find a way to not penalize ourselves because it's already hard enough to beat the team across from us, but let's not beat ourselves. That's the main thing. And you know that Brian Dayball is just they don't have these guys dialed in where the accountability aspect, in my opinion, like you see guys get flagged all the time for the same thing week in and week out. So hopefully we don't see that. And like you said, when it's coming to being out coach, I want to see this team be in a position where we're not burning timeouts for, the play clock running all the way down. We talked about it very quickly, but Brian Dayball calling a timeout at the end of the half, the first half against the Eagles, we all were sitting here like, what the heck
oh
was
my
that?
God,
Like the
man,
Jalen Hurts was about to get a delay of game, and we called timeout. What?
man,
Those are the type of things that we cannot see
yeah,
um, at all. But
yeah,
also speaking to it too, man. Another way we gave BTA to the Eagles last week was the special teams. Special
mm-hmm,
teams has actually been pretty good for us on both sides. Kick
yeah,
returns have been pretty good. Garner Olszewski's been solid, I will say. He's been good ever since he stepped in. And then when you think about our kickoff team, finding ways, I don't know how, but these guys can't. They're dropping the ball at the 1 yard line. It's bouncing off of their pads. I don't know what not Riley Dixon, the Scottish Hammer. I don't know what he got going on right now on his kickoffs, but they're working. So shout out to the special teams. We need a complete game to win this game. We do. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I don't
yeah.
want to focus on the coaching, but I'm excited because I think like we spoke on your title of it, put your 3D glasses on. Abdul
Yes,
Carter just said that. Our
mm-hmm,
play is going to show what it is this Sunday. It doesn't matter what we're saying on off the field because we know the Broncos have been talking a lot more than the Giants, but we're dialed in. I'm hoping to see that type of attitude in this game, man. I really am.
yeah, man. I'm gonna get to this comment here, man. This is family. This is family in the chat, man. And look, ironically, we have the same first name. There's not a lot of Terrans in this world, man. Like I love my first name for the fact that there's not a lot of us, and the ones that they are, the Terrans that you do meet, not the Tyrones. We not Tyrones. The
No.
Terrans that you do meet are typically, man, some very good gentlemen, man. But he reads, for novice such as myself, can you guys talk about what happened with the Giants? Look like there's been a change with the QB. What has happened? What are the differences you see? What does it mean for us long time? I say us, I'm from NY. Of course, man. I'll just say this to kind of just summarize, where we stand right now, man. There has been what people call maybe a spark, maybe the juice, whatever it is, added to this team. And right now, that spark, that juice is really carrying us and turning the tides to what we have struggled with for quite some time. This game is important because it is either going to confirm or prove or show to us that either it's the real deal or we still are long ways from where we want to be and changing the trajectory of where it has been. Um, it's not necessarily a win or loss thing, of course. we Giants fans, we're gonna always go in for the win. Our mindset is always gonna be on the win. But I think the main thing is production. We need to see a football team that goes out there and produces and at least doesn't go out there and look like the New York Giant team that we have seen in recent times where we just lay down and we just going out there trying to survive. Again, not to keep talking about this Eagle game because yeah, it is time to move on from it. But last week was big because we didn't try to just survive. No, we won that game. We actually went out there and looked like we had an identity. We played New York Giant football. That's what we need to see, man. And so that is what it's going to mean for now and for the future. Have we turned the tide? So with that being said, man, I do want to say, look, thank y'all. Thank each and everybody, man, for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Please make sure that you subscribe to the Juke and you also subscribe to myself at TP Way the Giant. We are going to get into some closing words. I know for me, I will be doing a live stream right after the game, celebrating the win, of course. The Juke, I don't know what you doing. What you got planned?
Yeah, man. I thought I was gonna be able to live stream today, but I don't got the vicinities for it. So I thought I was gonna live stream during the game. I was gonna try to run it back because I'm undefeated. Okay. I'm undefeated with watch parties, but I don't think I can do one today. But I definitely think I'm gonna live stream after the game later tonight, probably during Sunday Night Football. So definitely tap into my guy TP. And I want to let y'all know I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Shout out to Vocal Vike in the chat, by the way. Hey, y'all up pretty soon, man. Hey, we gonna be matched up pretty soon.
Take care of business.
McCarthy needs to be healthy when we get there. That's all I got to say. But shout out to Vocal Bike, man. I will say, I think the first team to get to 24 in this game wins. That's what I think. I'm going to put that out there right now. When you guys watch the game today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, man, think about that. First team to get to 24 wins because the Giants didn't allow any points in the second half. That defense gave them no points and kept the Eagles at 17 points, man. And they've been pretty good outside of that Cowboys game. So first team to get to 24 wins, and I think is going to be your New York Football Giants. Subscribe to the Juke, subscribe to TP Way the Giant, and definitely stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be on my channel for Big Blue Crossover, so definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, first to 24, let's get it.
Yes, sir, man. I do want to touch on this real quick. The real Prince Castro, man, shout out to my bro in the chat, says Dart thrives against doubt and adversity. I think he's more ready than any of us really know. The people that watch Dart, since he was at USC, already know what to expect. Fee Fi, faux fum. Absolutely love it. Now, of course, we can't get out of here, man, by doing, our schedule prediction here. I will say, because, I'm a little superstitious in the fact of how things went last week, right?
No.
Not that I have us really losing, but I'm going to have us losing because the last time that we had us losing, we won. If that makes sense. All right. So I got us. I'm going to give us a losing score, right? And then I'm going to give me our real score. I got us a losing 28-21, right? But I do think that realistically, the real score will be that in reverse. 28-21, New York Football Giants leaves Mile High with the dub.
Yeah, that's exactly, honestly, just being transparent. That's what I had. 27-21, though. I had 27-21 Giants getting the W. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. And like you said, last week, you did drop that bomb on me when we were walking out. I'm like, what are we said the Eagles going to win, but it worked. So who knows? Maybe it's going to work this week as well. And once again, man, do not let us win this game. I'm going to let y'all know right now. Do not let us win this game because to face the Eagles again after this week, if we get a W today, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
I am telling you, it is going to be so lit. And I don't care. I say this often because I need people to understand, man. I do not care how the game is won. I don't care if it is an ugly win. The main objective is to go out there and get that dub, man. So I will leave everybody with this, man, because I do not want to hold y'all. on the Eastern Standard Time at least. It is at 4:05. Go ahead, do what you have to do for the day, for the morning, or whatever it is. Which I know how I give it up, man, when it comes to that P5 full farm energy. I need everybody to go make sure that when it is game time, we are suited up. Make sure that we are ready for war. It is personal. Okay, after this game is done and we have won, make sure that you bring your glasses to the chat. Okay, make sure that you bring your glasses because I am definitely just expecting us to pull out this victory. And I expect us to be on our worst behavior, bringing that feedback full farm energy. Juke, I'm going to let you close it out with the closing words, and then we up out of here.
Put your 3D glasses on, fellas. It's going to get real at 4:05 Eastern time, man. I'm ready. I hope the defense is ready. And just appreciate another day of Giants football, man. Early morning roll call. I think there's no better way to start the Sunday morning than early morning roll call.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate everyone that's been in here. Come back in on Take Away the Giants channel after the game. Have a good one, man. Let's do it.
It's been real, y'all. We'll holler at y'all after the game. P5 full farm. Let's go.